Welcome to Alien Whispers. If you enjoy the story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Now, let's dive into the story. Howdy, y'all. It's Captain Chuck Starwheel, your go-to galactic taxi driver, back with another tale from the starry highways. This one's about a fare that had me grit my teeth harder than a busted warp coil. Picture this. I'm parked at Docking Bay 42 Orion Spaceport sipping on my space coffee, black as a neutron star, twice as bitter when I get a call from dispatch. Chuck, we got a VIP for you. Bay 42, pronto. VIP usually means big credits, but bigger headaches. Still, I'm game. I fire up the Star Chariot, my trusty Mark IV hyperdrive cruiser, and roll over to the bay. There he is, Lord Zorvath of the House of Eternal Radiance, looking like he just stepped out of some cosmic coronation. His robes shimmer like they're woven from pure ego, and he's got a posse of attendants hauling luggage heavier than a small moon. He eyes my ship like it's a junker. "Is this adequate?" he asks one of his lackeys, nose so high he could sniff the Oort cloud. "Adequate enough to get you where you're going," I say, tipping my cap. "Captain Chuck Starwheel, at your service." "Where to, your lordship?" Zorvath hands me a data pad with coordinates. "Take me to the planet of Eternal Bliss. I have urgent business there." I punch the numbers into the NAV computer and nearly choke on my coffee. Planet of Eternal Bliss? Never heard of it. These coordinates point to a black hole sector. Nothing but gravity and bad vibes. He waves me off like I'm a pesky space fly. "Your charts are outdated, Captain. My sources are impeccable. Now, depart at once." Well, if he's so sure, who am I to argue? Maybe he's got some secret map I don't know about, or maybe he's just another rich fool thinking credits can buy a planet. All right, I say, but if we end up as cosmic confetti, don't blame me. He smirks. "Just drive." "Drive? This ain't no hover car, buddy." But I keep that to myself and blast off from Orion Spaceport, set to in course for his so-called paradise. As we hit hyperspace, I can't help but wonder what kind of urgent business you'd have on a planet that don't exist. Probably some fancy retreat for snobs to sip nebula juice and pretend they're enlightened. Little did I know, this fare was going to be a wild ride, one that'd teach Lord Snooty a lesson he wouldn't forget. As we cruise through hyperspace, I keep an eye on the NAV screen. Those coordinates are taking us straight to the graveyard, a sector where old ships go to rust and dreams go to die. It's a mess of derelict hulks, asteroid fields, and, oh yeah, a massive black hole that'll suck you in faster than a vacuum cleaner on overdrive. Ain't no planet of eternal bliss here, unless bliss means eternal void. I turn to Zorvath, who's lounging in the co-pilot's seat like he owns the galaxy, his robes shimmering like a disco ball in a supernova. "Listen, your lordship, I gotta say it again. These coordinates are bunk. There's no planet where you're sending us. Just a black hole that'll turn us into space spaghetti." He sniffs, adjusting his robes for the 10th time since we left Orion Spaceport. "Captain, your prattle is most unbecoming. My sources, vetted by the High Council of Radiant Wisdom, are infallible. Now, fulfill your role and navigate." "Role? My role's to keep us breathing, not chase fairy tales." But he's got that look, like he'd have me blacklisted from every spaceport this side of Andromeda if I don't play along. "Fine," I say, "but don't come crying to me when we're dodging space junk." He smirks, waving a bejeweled hand. "I expect competence, not cowardice." "Competence, huh? All right, Lord Snooty, you want a ride? I'll give you one." I figure it's time to teach this high and mighty, noble a lesson. Instead of heading straight for the black hole, which be suicide, I plot a course through the graveyard. It's a risky detour, full of hazards, but the Star Chariot's handled worse. Plus, a little scare might knock that smirk off his face. We drop out of hyperspace on the graveyard's edge, and let me tell you, it's a sight to make your stomach churn. Ships of all kinds float aimlessly, old freighters with hulls like Swiss cheese, busted cruisers leaking coolant, even a fancy yacht or two, all left to rot. Debris drifts like cosmic tumbleweeds, and every now and then you catch a glint of something that might have been valuable once. Zorvath's eyes go wide, his shimmering skin losing a bit of its glow. "What is this ghastly necropolis?" "Welcome to the graveyard," I say, grinning like a cat with a canary. Where ships go when their owners run out of luck or credits. Still want to head to your planet? He straightens, clutching his noble seal, a gaudy disc hanging from a chain around his neck. This is merely a test of my resolve, Captain. Proceed with your petty theatrics. Petty theatrics? Oh, buddy, you ain't seen nothing yet. Your funeral, I mutter, easing the Star Chariot into the debris field. It's like navigating a cosmic obstacle course. Every turn's a gamble. I dodge a chunk of hull from a long-dead battleship, then swerve to avoid a rogue asteroid. The proximity alarms beep like a choir of angry robots, and I'm sweating bullets keeping us in one piece. Zorvath's grip tightens on his seat. His robes rustling like he's trying to hide it. Captain, this is reckless. I demand you slow down at once. Slow down. I laugh, dodging a spinning satellite that nearly clips our wing. In this neck of the woods, you want to get skewered by a stray beam or crushed by a derelict? No, sir, we're hauling ass. I point out some sights to keep him rattled. See that? That's the Pride of Zorgan, a luxury liner that hit an ion storm. Crew's probably still floating out there, haunting the place. And over there, old Federation gunship. Might still have live ammo aboard. Want to stop for a souvenir. His face turns a shade greener than his robes, but he doubles down. Cease your insolent prattle. My destination is sacred, ordained by the celestial oracles themselves. Sacred, huh? I say, raising an eyebrow. Sounds like your oracles need a new star chart. One of his attendants, a twitchy fellow with too many eyes, pipes up from the back. My lord, perhaps the captain is correct. This region seems perilous. Zorvath spins on him, his voice booming like he's addressing a royal court. Silence, Varkies. I will not be questioned by underlings or this glorified chauffeur. Chauffeur? That's it. I lean forward, keeping one hand on the controls. Listen here, your lordship, I'm the only thing keeping you from becoming a cosmic smear. You want to find your planet? Fine, but don't blame me when we're staring down a black hole. He huffs, crosses his arms. Your impertinence will be noted, Captain. When we arrive at the planet of Eternal Bliss, I shall ensure you're properly disciplined. Disciplined? I snort, swerving to avoid a tumble of jagged metal. Buddy, you'll be lucky if we arrive anywhere but the afterlife. Just then, the ship lurches as we hit a gravity well from a nearby derelict. The alarms scream, and I fight the controls to break free. Zorvath, caught off guard, tumbles out of his seat, his robes billowing like a deflated parachute. His noble seal flies from his hand, clattering into the dashboard, and, wouldn't you know it, sparks fly as it shorts out the auxiliary lights. Great, I groan, round power while keeping us steady. Now you fried my lights. Zorvath scrambles back to his seat, looking like a kid caught stealing cookies. I was merely adjusting my posture. This vessel is clearly defective. Defective? I snap. The only thing defective here is your sense of direction. He opens his mouth to argue, but another jolt cuts him off. We're getting closer to the black hole's pull, and the NAV computer's going berserk. I glance at Zorvath, who's clutching his seat like it's his last lifeline. Still think this is the right route. Your lordship? He swallows hard, his voice barely a whisper. It must be a minor detour. The planet of Eternal Bliss is nigh. Nigh my ass. I mutter, checking the gravity readings. The black hole's tug is getting stronger, and we're not even at the coordinates yet. I decide to push him a bit further. All right, since you're so sure, let's keep going. Ready to meet your higher vibrations. Zorvath don't answer, just stares out the viewport, his shimmering skin now dull as dishwater. His attendant, Varkies, whimpers in the back, muttering something about ancestral curses. I reckon Zorvath is starting to realize he's been fed a load of cosmic hogwash, but his pride's still holding him back from admitting it. As we weave deeper into the graveyard, I spot a new hazard, a swarm of micro-debris, probably from shattered satellite, heading our way. Hold on, I shout, bank in hard to the left. The ship groans, and Zorvath's hollow projector, still on from his earlier stunt, flies out of his lap, projecting a sparkling image of his fake planet right in my face. Turn that damn thing off. I yell, batting at the hologram while steering. It's blocking my view. Zorvath fumbles to grab it, his tentacles flailing. "It's proof of my destiny," he insists, but in his panic he knocks over my mug of space coffee. The liquid splashes across the control panel, and, yep, you guessed it, more sparks fly as the NAV screen flickers. "Son of a—" I curse, slamming the emergency override to keep us from spinning out of control. "You're gonna pay for that, your lordship." Zorvath's voice cracks. "Pay? I am Lord Zorvath of the House of Eternal Radiance. I do not pay for accidents caused by inferior technology." "Inferior," I roar, fixing the panel while dodging another asteroid. "This ship's been through worse than your tantrums, but you're pushing it." The black hole's pull is getting stronger now, and the ship's starting to feel the strain. I keep us at a safe distance, but the view's enough to make anyone's heart skip a beat. Time to see if Lord Snooty's ready to eat some humble pie, or if he's going to keep playing the fool till we're both cosmic toast. Zorvath leans forward, eyes wide as saucers, his usual arrogance replaced by raw terror. Sweat beads on his forehead, dripping down his shimmering skin, now dull like a deflated cosmic balloon. His hands tremble, clutching the armrest so hard I swear they're about to snap. His knuckles, if nobles have knuckles under that glittery hide, gone pale. His robes cling to him, soaked with some fancy drink he spilled in his panic, and a weird, fruity stench fills the cockpit. That's not a planet," he stammers, voice barely a whisper, like he's afraid the black hole might hear him. "Nope," I say, leaning back with a smirk. "That's a black hole, your lordship. Told you those coordinates were bunk. Ain't no planet of eternal bliss here. Just eternal squishing." He shakes his head, skin fading to a sickly gray. "But my informants swore. The celestial oracles themselves vouched for it. Your oracles were selling you a load of cosmic manure." I cut in, sharp as a laser blade. "Unless you want to get spaghettified, I suggest we hightail it out of here." Zorvath's composure shatters like a cheap hull in a meteor storm. "Spaghettified? What in the stars does that mean?" He squeaks, voice cracking like a teenager's. "Means the black holes stretch us into space noodles," I say, enjoying his panic more than I should. "First you get real long, then, poof, you're gone. Not the higher vibrations you were chasing, I reckon." He grips the armrests tighter, breathing short and ragged. "Unacceptable," he screeches, but it's more whimper than roar. "You should have checked the coordinates. This is your fault. Check them." I laugh, loud and sharp. "I told you from the jump they were no good. You're the one who said your sources were impeccable. Well, they're about as reliable as a screen door on a spaceship." He opens his mouth to argue, but the ship lurches as a gravity wave hits, and the alarms scream louder. Zorvath lets out a half-gasp, half-sob, a sound I never thought a noble could make. In his panic, he slaps the console, accidentally triggering the emergency distress beacon. A piercing wail fills the cockpit, and the comm crackles to life, broadcasting his meltdown on an open channel. "Captain, get us out of here," he wails, eyes darting like he's hunting for a non-existent escape pod. "I was wrong. There's no planet of eternal bliss. Take us back, please. I'll pay quadruple. I'll scrub your ship's floors. Just save me." Hot damn. Lord Zorvath groveling like a space rat? That's a show worth watching. But it gets better. The comm buzzes, and a pilot's voice cuts through, laughing. "Who's crying on the open channel? That you, Lord Noodle?" Another chimes in. "Thought nobles didn't scare. What's next? You gonna mop the docks?" Zorvath's face, or whatever passes for it, turns a sickly purple. He fumbles to shut off the comm, but his shaking hands knock his noble seal off its chain, sending it clattering to the floor. "Silence, you peasants!" he shrieks into the mic, but it only makes the pilots laugh harder. "Check your charts before flying into a black hole. Your lordship," one hollers. I can't hold back a grin. "Well, Lord Noodle, you're a galactic celebrity now. Want me to record this for your memoirs?" "Don't call me that," he bellows, voice breaking, but another jolt cuts him off. The ship groans under the black hole's pull, and I wrestle the controls like a rodeo champ on a wild asteroid. Zorvath's drink spills again, splashing the console and sparking a minor short. "Great," I mutter, rerouting power. "Now you're frying my ship." "It's your inferior vessel," he snaps, but his voice is all panic, no pride. He's practically curled into a ball, robes a soggy mess, muttering about ancestral dishonor. The comm's still open, and a pilot cackles. Lord Noodle's gonna need new robes after this. I keep us just outside the danger zone, but the black hole's tug is fierce. Still think your oracle's got it right? I ask, dodging a stray debris chunk. Were you ready to admit you dragged us to hell's front door? Please, he whimpers, tears, or something like him, streaking his face. I was mistaken. Save us, Captain, and I'll make it worth your while. Worth my while, huh? I say, banking hard to avoid a plasma jet. Better be a big tip, cause this ain't in my job description. The alarms blare, the ship shudders, and Zorvath is a quivering wreck, his noble swagger gone like dust in a solar wind. The pilots on the comm keep roasting him, and I'm half tempted to join in, but I focus on getting us out of this mess before we're cosmic confetti. Zorvath, still pale as a ghost, fumbles with his datapad, hands shaking like they're caught in a solar flare. His robes, soaked with spilled noble juice, cling to him like a sad, glittery rag, and his shimmering skin's gone dull as a rusted freighter. He's trying to scrape together some shred of dignity, but the crowd of attendants waiting at Bay 42 ain't making it easy. Their eyes widen, and one, a twitchy fellow with too many tentacles, lets out a snicker he can't quite hide. My lord, you look, battle-worn, the attendant says, voice dripping with barely veiled amusement. Zorvath glares, his voice a shaky hiss. Mind your tongue, Varkies, or I'll have you polishing asteroids. But the threat falls flat as another attendant giggles, whispering to her buddy, polishing asteroids? After he led us to a black hole. I lean against the console, arms crossed, watching the show. Time to settle up, your lordship, I say, tapping my payment scanner. You promised quadruple, plus floor-scrubbing duties. I'm holding you to it. Zorvath's face twists like he swallowed a sour comet. He stabs at his datapad, muttering about insolent chauffeurs, and the scanner beeps. The numbers flash, quadruple the fare, just like he swore when he was crying for his life. But then, holy stars, there's an extra digit, maybe two, turning it into a small fortune. My jaw nearly hits the deck. Lord Noodle, I say, keeping my tone casual. You sure you meant to tip enough to buy a new ship? That's mighty generous. He checks the datapad, and his skin flashes a panicked purple. Preposterous, he sputters, voice hitting a pitch that could shatter glass. I did no such thing. Reverse it, you scoundrel. Before I can respond, Varkies pipes up, grinning like a space cat. A fitting tribute, my lord, for the captain's heroic navigation. The other attendants burst out laughing, one choking out. Heroic? More like saving his lordship from his own cosmic blunder. Zorvath's mouth flaps like a fish in zero-G, but he's too humiliated to argue. Keep it, he snarls, pride outweighing his wallet. But if this reaches the Galactic Herald, I'll have your license yanked faster than a pulsar spins. I tip my cap, barely holding back a chuckle. Discretion's my middle name, your lordship. Pleasure doing business. As he turns to storm off, Varkies whispers loud enough for everyone to hear. Lord Noodle's gonna need a new title after this fiasco. The attendants cackle, and Zorvath's shoulders slump, his noble swagger crushed like a derelict in a scrapyard. A dock worker nearby, coiling cables, overhears and laughs to his buddy. That's Lord Zorvath? Word as he tried to find some fairy tale planet and nearly got spaghettified. Yeah, the buddy replies, grinning. Paid a fortune to keep it quiet, too. What a chump. The story's already spreading like a solar wind, and I catch snippets from other workers. Black hole chase, Lord Noodle, biggest tip in Orion history. Zorvath's entourage hustles him away, but not before a passing pilot shouts, Hey, your lordship, next time book a tour to a nebula. The crowd roars, and Zorvath's face is a mask of pure misery. I head back to the Star Chariot, pulling out my journal to jot down the tale. Lord Noodle's black hole blues, I scribble, grinning. This one's gonna kill at the diner. The scanner's still glowing with that ridiculous payment, and I'm already picturing the upgrades. Maybe a new coffee maker for the cockpit. Over the comm, A driver buddy crackles through. Chuck, heard you bag a noble's fortune. Spill the beans. Let's just say, I reply, kicking back, some fares are worth their weight in stardust. The laughter from the other end tells me this story's gonna live forever in the space lanes.